I would be shocked. Scratch that. We don't really get shocked anymore at this stage in the game. Let's say I would be very, very surprised if you guys haven't heard about this champion, even if it wasn't a dedicated segment on it. It's hard that, I can't believe I missed this champion's kit. Maybe upon reading it, it's like, okay, it's good, but for me to actually use it, that's a whole separate thing. So we are talking about the epic champion, Morag Bronzelock, and there's just so much to get into. So without wasting any time, let's dive straight into it. What up, team? It is MurderInc. We are talking about power. We are talking about power. Here in front of us, we have Morag Bronzelock, Dwarves defense-based epic champion, and like I said, I don't know how I missed this champion. I reached out to a couple people. I said, hey, this champion's like caring for me. Have you heard of them? They were like, no, she knew. So I don't know. For me, like I said, not going to say shocking, but she definitely flew under the radar. I'm sure many players that are currently using her know just how strong she is. So let's talk about this kit really quick. We have an ally attack A3, teams up with 2 random allies, whatever, right? It can be good, it can be okay, grants an extra turn if an enemy is killed. Highly likely depending on who's on your team, but it's not a full ally attack, so nothing too crazy here. 4-turn cooldown once fully booked. Next, we have the AoE ability, places a 25% strengthen buff on all allies, then hits hard. I can tell you, hits hard. Then we have the A1, attacks one enemy twice. Each hit will ignore shield buffs. Very strong for my specific free-to-play account, because what gear set is everybody and their mother using? You guessed it, bolster set. So we're popping off here. This is doing tons of work in that regard for sure. Next, we have a passive here, counter attacks when hit while under a strengthen buff. So maybe upon reading it, you're like, it's not that good, but she hits hard. AoE Strengthen is the most underrated buff, in my opinion at least, in the game. Everyone talks about defense up, ally protection, block damage, unkillable, but Strengthen is a straight up damage reduction. It's the equivalent to, so we have defense down, increased defense. Weaken strengthens the kind of reverse of what a weaken does. It's just a flat damage reduction, and it's, I don't know, I can't even explain how. I pulled this champion, looked at her kit, and I said, let's go. Full send. That's literally one of the very few good parts about free-to-play accounts, because they're really boring, but you kind of use whoever you have, right? If you pull someone and their kit looks semi-decent, you just go for it. You say, I'm probably not going to pull another epic for quite some time now. So you kind of just full send, and I do not regret my decision at all here. I needed an arena nuker that wasn't Rhonda. Why? Because I still don't have an attack up buff. However, when I pulled Morag Bronzelock, I also pulled Mausoleum Mage. What does Mausoleum Mage have? Increased crit rate, block debuffs, and increased defense. Increased defense, the fact that I have a defense-based nuker, that already gives her the edge for my arena team, and she's pretty much carried all my dungeons as well. I went up at least 2 levels, including Spider, which I was shocked about. But like I said, this champion absolutely slaps, and she has been incredible, especially paired with Rhonda. The ally attack, we don't have to talk about how strong Rhonda is, but getting those extra hits over and over again, if she is in fact picked for the ally attack, is very, very strong. And kind of like a side note of this video, I pulled my first legendary. I did in fact strike that gold, and what came out? Elva Autumnborn. Now, don't know too much about this champion. I fully booked her. I didn't fully book her. I lied to you. I almost fully booked her. Thankfully, didn't go into the revive because I don't really care about that. And I kind of have mixed feelings. So I'm going to be getting Arbiter as well as Seal of Drakes very soon, right? So this champion's kind of like a combination of both of them. I know it's hard to make that comparison. One has a stun, so I'm not going to say it, but I am going to say it. I don't know how much value I'm going to get out of Arbiter and Seal of Drakes now that I have Elva. Is that a fair assumption? You guys let me know. I don't know. As we all know, you have to be very careful with free-to-play accounts because your resources matter a lot more when you're not spending anything. So I decided to just full invest, block debuff, increase speed, and removing all debuffs from all allies. Really, really strong, has helped me out in quite a bit of things. I just recently hit 21 million damage in the Nightmare Clan boss. Huge, huge, huge. So happy about that. Don't even have her fully mastered yet. Slowly but surely working on that. She's just in bolster gear, but that's kind of like a side rant. I am kind of looking for a little bit of advice because Arbiter definitely going to be used for the aura and arena, no doubt about it. But as far as PvE progression, I'm not sure how Scylla Drakes and Arbiter are going to be able to compete with someone like an Elva, now that I have Morag Bronzelock as the main damage dealer. I don't need an attack up from Arbiter. I guess the AoE revive is going to be okay, but increased defense is going to help me out the most here because all of Rhonda's damage comes from the Mastery Giant Slayer. So looking at how I geared my Morag, you might be thinking, Murder, why are you using Cruel gear? Simply for the ignore defense. I'm well aware that the attack does nothing for me. Unfortunately, I do have to use an accuracy banner here because I rolled a triple defense and I have no defense banner. It's on the to-do list for sure, but a triple roll, I'm not complaining, right? It is what it is. So pretty decent stats for like an early game champion. 96% crit rate, wish I could get to 100, but I do get the increased crit rate buff from our friend Mausoleum Mage, so that helps significantly for pretty much anything like the arena. Speaking of the arena, let's dive straight in, look for some cool fights here. Ultimate Death Knights everywhere, so let's see how we do. We got ourselves an Apothecary, happy about that for sure. Increased defense, nuke, bam. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Morag is so strong. Her character model looks awesome. I do not regret investing in her at all. She was definitely a very worthy investment here. We're just going to take out this team because we know, I know, you know, the Great Hall is very important. Very, very, very important. Do we try to kill this Duchess team on the bottom here? I'm going to say no, because Morag is Spirit Affinity. That's the only downside. You're going to be seeing Rhonda, Kale. I mean, maybe we can get away with this team. Really going to depend here. Thankfully, the biggest issue is going to be Magic Affinity reviving champions. That's where Morag's going to struggle the most, but there's not too many of them that are commonly used, so that's the good news for sure here. Okay, so everyone died. Perfect. Ultimate Death Knight, GG, right? So really fun arena team. It really got me rolling in the right direction. Like I said, I pulled an Apothecary. I haven't really been farming Dragon too much. I've kind of been just getting the rewards from, I don't know if it's the milestone missions. I've been working on Arbiter. What are we at here? Yeah, so we're on Arena. We're not even to the legendary books yet, but I don't have any legendaries to book. Rhonda doesn't need books. Elva don't need to book her revive here. I'm not going to have to book Arbiter when I get her. So I don't know. What am I even waiting for? Great question. What am I waiting for? The next legendary, which is going to be a while. Let's see. We're currently at day 69. Tomorrow's reset will in fact be day 70. And we just hit a PR in the clan boss. We did 21 million damage in Nightmare. Solid. Slowly, once I do get Elva, her masteries, I'm going to start looking towards Ultra Nightmare. Now, surprisingly, me taking out Demytha from my clan boss team shot up my damage a ton. Why is that? Obviously, because Geomancer, when she does apply her block damage, wherever that is, to the team, it does less damage to the boss when he hits because of how his passive works. So by swapping Demytha with Elva, despite Demytha having War Master, my damage in fact went up about 3 million damage. Kind of strong. So unfortunately, Demytha is going to have to take a back seat until I can make some type of clan boss team with her. Probably an unkillable, but that's like way down the line. I am not spreading my gear thin for an unkillable team. We have pretty decent speed on our Apothecary here, 283. Not complaining for this many days into the game for sure, but like I said, Morag has been carrying, absolutely carrying. The fact that I'm using a raw damage dealing team for stage 15 of Spider is kind of crazy. Do I dare? You know what? We're going to try for the video. We're going to try the next stage here. Let's swap these two champions and let's pray. Let us pray here. That's a lot of health. We went up a bunch of levels here. I don't think we can continue our little streak here because, I mean, we're still one-shotting. That's good. That is the good news. Now, I can't really tell about Geomancer here, right? Is he good or is he bad? Yes, we do have the option where he's stealing the turn meter, and that I think that's good. But as far as the damage that he does, it's not that good, right? Like, look, 3,000 damage to the spider. That's really not that much. Now, I guess it's going to add up. That's definitely a great point if you're thinking, Murder, don't be crazy. It's going to add up. I get that. And we can, of course, proc War Master on it, so I guess he is a viable option for sure. Alright, we decrease the turn meter again, so he's going to be healing soon. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure we have the health low enough to where the heal's not going to be too bad. The question is, how much damage should I be expecting from the spider? And the run's taking kind of long. I'd like to get this done in under 2 minutes. Is that going to be possible? Not sure. There's the awesome counterattack from the passive of Morag. Once again, a great champion. I suppose it's possible to get all the way to stage 20 with like an AoE clearing comp. However, being free to play and extremely early game like I am, once again, not even on day 70 yet, it just surprised me is all. I don't have an HP burn. I don't have someone like a miscreated monster that's just completely covering my team with shields here. So I'm curious to see with more gear just how far I can push this team. Maybe stage 20. I really have my doubts about stage 20. So it looks like we are, the team seems decently safe, but we are over the 2-minute mark, which is unfortunate. I was looking for something better. Can I go further? Probably not going to be for this video. You can sell that for some nice silver there. So we're on our way. Like I said, if I threw in Kale there, we're not clearing this. Why? Because Strengthen, it doesn't look like it does a lot, but if you get rid of that Strengthen buff and Geomancer starts taking those hits from the Spiderlings, it's a totally different story. He gets absolutely shredded by the physical, I mean like the raw physical damage of the Spiderlings. So Strengthen goes a long, long way. Now I'm curious, I'm hunting for a blessing, but what I was going to say is I'm curious as to how many of you guys have been using Morag Bronzelock this whole time, because I haven't heard anything about this champion. I think I've seen people here and there using her in the arena, and I just one-shot the teams and moved on, but she looks like Trunda. And I'm not going to say she's like an epic Trunda, but for the memes, she's like a defensive epic Trunda. Without a mace, but with a really cool sword. Her A1 animation is kind of weird. Well, let's take a look back into the arena, just against this guy right here. And we'll use the A1, right? Increase speed. Her hop, I don't know about this. I don't know. The same thing where I was saying the Razagesh fusion has a strange animation. She should have Razagesh's A1 and Razagesh should have hers because she's hopping like a bunny. He is a bunny and he's not hopping. He's just walking really slow. I don't know. These are the little things that I noticed and that I talk about for sure. So I considered trying to get some use out of her in the clan boss, but I need her as a nuker. She's doing way too well in the wave nuking for PvE and for the arena content, but hear me out. The gamble of getting this A3 ability to proc on Rhonda, who is my second highest damage dealer to Geomancer, of course, would be kind of crazy. And she gets a counterattack, so she's getting more damage with War Master if I decide to swap off Helm Smasher. So I don't know, kind of just like airing out some possibilities that I could do. Overall, the free-to-play is going pretty well. Also pulled a Vogoth recently. I think my most recent pulls were Vogoth and Elva Autumnborn. Really happy about that. The prior session to that was Morag and Mausoleum Mage. I don't think I have anyone else. Oh, I did get Occult Brawler as well. He's kind of sidelined. I have a few of the fusion rares. There's no chance I can get the fusion. And I've been saving up for the Razin Scarhide fusion. Slowly but surely we're getting there. So that's the good news for that. I'm really hoping I can get Razin though. And we're saving up our shards again slowly but surely. I did just use a few ancients. Didn't have any voids, but I used a few ancients for the fusion event for pulling to get the, I think I got 4 rewards from the event tier, which was nice. I figured why not use and pull the shards here instead of the 2 times. And that's where I got lucky and got the legendary Elva. So now I'm going to be saving. Do I dare? What are the odds? You know what? I'll do it for the video. Am I going to get 2 legendaries right here? Got an epic. He's actually really good. Her shield is massive. This is the first attack down champion that I have. Okay. And this might be my answer to, what's it called? The Scarab. I have a shield. I have 2 attacking abilities that I can use in a, what's it called? Destroy set. And I'm pretty sure, no. I don't know why I thought I had a Nazana. Hopefully I'm not thinking incorrectly and I didn't have a Nazana to start with. And then I got rid of it. That would be horrible. I don't think so though. Anyways, I'm saving these champions. It is what it is. This is pure copium. The odds that I get them, but whatever. So Nazana was a nice pickup. That's actually really lucky. And I have no 5-star food because I just 6-starred our apothecary here to slap this banner on. So we went first in the arena, but happy with Nazana. She's really strong, really tanky. Let's just look at her base stats. Oh, we can't see because she's not 60, but I know about her. Happy with this pull for sure here. And Faction Guardians, she's going to go a very long way. Maybe she's someone that I swap in for Kale on the clan boss, even though he's my poisoner. But he does lower damage than Geomancer and Rhonda. Significantly lower than both of them by about 2 million damage. So adding an attack down increases my survivability a ton and ally protection and a shield buff on her. So I'll have to think about this. If you want to give your feedback in the comments, go ahead. Should I make the swap for Kale? Give it a shot, who knows, but I'm definitely going to be probably taking her to 6-star next. Vogoth, he's fine at 5-star. I only really use him in the Hydra to get the first chest, which I can do easily. So now they're moving into Ultra Nightmare. Attack down is going to be required. Can't get away with the kind of cheese passive that I'm using with Geomancer now. But the point of this video, I know I got sidetracked a ton here, is Morag. Who's using her? Am I crazy? Am I just overlooking this champion, not realizing just how strong she was? Probably. Probably because her kit really stands out, especially as an epic champion, right? Pseudo, a mini ally attack. Granted, it's not a full team, who cares? Hard-hitting AoE with a strength and buff at the same time. Really good in arena for a ton of reasons. One of the biggest things for nukers is they're very vulnerable after they use their AoE. If you don't kill someone, it's like, well, what now? I have to use the other 3 champions around my nuker. This takes so much stress off of that by placing the strength and buff because you're taking significantly less damage. On top of that, counter-attacking with an A1 that ignores shields, need I say more? So, that's the video on Morag. Give me your thoughts about this champion and her interesting looking haircut. Really cool. So much fun using this. Like I said, free to play is, I don't know, it's fun for some reason. Can't really explain why. It's something fresh. It's not boring. I can't beat everything like I can on my main account, so it is what it is. As always, guys, if you enjoy this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.